Hello everybody, Zanafar here, and today I just kinda wanna talk about Ultraman. I just kinda wanna talk about things I like about Ultraman, I love about Ultraman, some of my favorite episodes, some of my favorite characters, so let's get into it. I think my favorite team has to be Team Guts. My favorite side character has to be Matakata. I love Matakata, he's so fun to watch, and I love his disapproving faces. Matakata don't approve. I think most people know my favorite Anuin is Judla. I just love watching him, he's so interesting, so much fun basically. Also, another thing I love about Ultraman was made by Suruwaya, the same guy who made the Godzilla movies, and I find that so fascinating. Now let's get into my favorite episodes. Let's first start with Jamila's episode. So, I mean why I love this episode is actually with Ito. Ito is the comic relief character. He's very goofy, very over the top. He's like a real life cartoon character basically. And he is the inventor of the group. He makes the weapons to fight the kaijus for the science patrol or to help out Ultraman basically. But in this episode, he finds out about Jamila is actually a human being, was actually an astronaut, was trapped in outer space and mutated and started attacking Earth. And he did not want to go through with it to kill this kaiju because it was human. And it was very interesting to see how dark and depressing he gets. Basically, Jamila's death is so brutal because basically his weakness is water, and basically he's getting set on fire, basically. Scrumming around is so hard to watch and so brutal. I feel so bad for him, and I love this episode for so many reasons. Especially the ending. They basically have like a tombstone, the honorable for Jamila, and everybody is there, and everybody starts leaving, and the only one that's standing there is Ito, even when his friends start to call him. I love this episode because it's so interesting for Ito's case for a comic relief character being so serious and dark. Now let's get into my most favorite episode ever made from Ultra 7. I love this episode. It's easily my favorite Ultraman episode, period. So let's get into the reason why. I love this episode mostly for its plot. So people are just going crazy. They're attacking their wives, grabbing guns, shooting at random people, beating up their friends. Planes are just randomly crashing, and people are wondering what the hell is going on. And then you find out the reason why everybody is going crazy. It's because of cigarettes. Every time when someone smokes, they kind of zone out for a set, and then they start going crazy. They're attacking everybody, anything in sight, basically. And you find the reason why is because of this alien called Alien Metron, and basically he's putting this red powder in cigarettes, and every time when someone smokes it, it makes humans basically go crazy, make the aggressive instinct kick in. And I find that so interesting. It's basically an anti-smoking method. Also, his big plan is make people not trust each other. So wars will break out, and then the human race will just wipe themselves out, so the Metrons can keep the planet for themselves. And that's a really good plan. And I find it so cool. Basically, this show introduced the sunset or sunrise episodes, basically. And I love any time when a sunset or a sunrise appear in any Ultraman show because it looks so beautiful. I love this episode. It's my all-time favorite episode, and I just have so much enjoyment watching it every time when I rewatch it, and I basically remember my first time watching it how much I loved it. Now let's get into the episode that made me really, really sad. The Return of Ultraman's episode. This episode about this little boy. He's basically an orphan, being looked at by this old man is actually an Anuin. And the whole town thinks this little boy is an Anuin. And they just bother him and just be mean to him all the time. He just tried to get a good bite to eat, and then he kicked down his food, and he tried to pick it up. This little boy digs holes because he is trying to look for the old man's spaceship so they can leave together. And then eventually the town starts attacking the little boy, and the old man steps in and says he's Ainoin, and then they shoot him because he's Ainoin. And the old man dies, and it's so heartbreaking to watch. You just want the people to leave the old man and the boy alone, basically. And the Ainoin old man was holding back a kaiju, and the kaiju wrote and started attacking the people. And Go did not want to transform, did not want to defend these people because they killed an innocent Ainoin and tried to kill an innocent boy. And it's up to his captain, tell him, go fight, go transform, go. And it's such a cool reveal, also realizing that is the captain. Because you don't know who that is, it's this mysterious man comes out of nowhere. I love this episode, and this episode just stuck with me for a long time. Now we get into the other episode, kind of horrified me. It's also from the Return Ultraman. Go's girlfriend gets captured by Ainoin Natto, and his best friend tries to stop it, his girlfriend's brother, and gets hit by a car, and it's such a brutal death scene. His girlfriend screams out her brother's name, and then they kick her out of the car and start dragging her. And it's so heartbreaking. Natto did not one thing to Ultraman in this episode. He emotionally hurt Ultraman and did it physically. And it's so dark and so interesting, but also so sad. I remember I was not expecting it when I watched the show. I was just expecting, oh, she's gonna get kidnapped and Go has to save her. And no, that's not what happened. They killed off two characters I really liked, and it's such a sad episode. Especially her little brother is now left as an orphan with nobody anymore, and it's so sad, especially because he's crying, and Go is so heartbroken and don't even know what to do. This episode also stuck with me for a very long time. Now we get into the Taiga episode. This episode is really good, but sad. This episode is about Natto. Natto is a painter. He's very at peace. He's friends with the Ultraman hosts, and he gives them advice about life and everything. But when he sees his monster Black King die because of Taiga, it brings back his fighting spirit, and he asks Taiga's host to fight him. And he transforms and starts attacking the city. And Taiga has to fight, so he transforms and eventually defeats Natto. And it's so sad to see this, because it breaks the Ultraman host's heart. And we all saw this when we lost somebody, where we used to talk to them, and you see them for a brief set, but they're actually not there. And it's so heartbreaking. This episode is so sad. Now let's talk about my favorite Ultraman host. And mostly these couple of scenes, why I love him, and it's mostly from the last episodes. This scene is from his dad. His dad is supposedly dead. And his dad was going on a mission, and his dad told him, if you throw this baseball at the tree, and the time you hit it, I'll be back. And he never came back, because he went missing. And also, at his father's anniversary, his death, goes by that same spot and throws that baseball at that tree. His even flashed back to his head when he faced the big bad, and it's so emotional. This episode is so sad, especially when Otsa, or Ultraman Dyna realistically, gets captured into the black hole. And technically, this is at the time, because Dyna hadn't made a comeback, the real Otsa hadn't made a comeback until Ultra Galaxy the movie. Technically, he died. And it was very emotional. Eventually, the last thing he sees is his dad, and he flies off with his dad. And it's so very emotional. So, yeah, I don't really know what this video was. I just kind of talked about some stuff I love about Ultraman. Okay, Zanafar out.